Hello my dear Russian students! Welcome to my channel Russian teacher Veronika. I am super glad to see you here again. Many thanks that you still learn Russian together with me. This means a lot to me. And today at this Russian lesson I would like to return to Russian conjugation. I think that this is a very important part of Russian grammar because it is very frequently used. Also, it is connected with other aspects of Russian grammar, cases, and many other structures. Today you will see what I'm talking about. And we will learn another Russian verb, which is рассказать. Рассказать, it means to tell. But before we start, we need to talk about basics. So, in Russian language, we have such an interesting grammatical thing like Russian verb aspects. So we have only two of them, imperfective and perfective, but they are such a trouble for all foreigners who are not from Slavic countries, because this is a common Slavic thing, which is quite difficult and unusual for foreigners who do not speak Slavic languages. We have imperfective рассказывать, and then we have perfective peya рассказать. Both of them mean to tell, but the difference is in the details. So рассказывать, imperfective, you use if you talk about repetitive action, something that you do on an everyday basis, sometimes, always, rarely, never, often, seldom, that's thing. Or also you use рассказывать, imperfective, if you talk about not finished, not completed action that still is in process. And рассказать, perfective, is totally opposite. So you use рассказать if you talk about finished, completed action, and you see the real result of this action, and it happened maybe one time. Yeah, it was not a repetitive action. But both of these verbs, рассказывать and рассказать, they mean the same thing. They mean to tell. Okay, now you know this thing about Russian verb aspects, and we can move on to conjugation. Рассказать, it is perfective, that's why it has no present tense, it has only future, and it has only past tenses in Russian language, because result cannot be in process. They are two opposite things, right? You either have process or result. That's why it has no present tense. Okay, we will start with the future. So, я расскажу, ты расскажешь, он расскажет, она расскажет, мы расскажем, вы расскажете, они расскажут. That's it. What you need to know about the conjugation of this Russian verb in future tense. Okay, now let's talk about the pattern, the grammatical model that is very frequently used with this Russian verb. So, normally you use personal pronoun, conjugated form of рассказать, and then you use dative case. This is the person to whom you tell your story or something else, and then you use or об or obo. This is Russian preposition about, and then you use prepositional case. Or, by the way, we have another second example, second pattern, how we can use this Russian verb in Russian sentences. Look, So, you can say personal pronoun, conjugated form of this verb, рассказать, then you use dative case, and then you use accusative case. This will be an object that you discuss. Okay, it seems to be quite difficult and might be irritating, but I will show you how it works in Russian language. So, the example number 1. Я расскажу тебе интересную историю. Я расскажу тебе интересную историю. Я, nominative case, because this is subject. Расскажу, future tense of рассказать. Then тебе, dative, because I tell the story to you, right? And then object, accusative case, интересную историю. Another example. Ты расскажешь директору, что случилось. Ты расскажешь директору, что случилось. Ты, nominative, расскажешь, verb, директору, dative, and then goes additional part of the sentence. You can here add о том. Ты расскажешь директору о том, что случилось. About that, what happened. The literal translation. But you can skip this о том. It will be clear that you imply this idea. Okay, that's good. Now let's talk about the third person singular in Russian. Он расскажет всем смешной анекдот. Он расскажет всем смешной анекдот. Yeah, the same construction here. Он, nominative subject, расскажет, future, всем, dative, смешной анекдот, accusative object. You see that Russian language seems to be quite difficult at the beginning, but then you understand that it has a logic, it has a structure, and there is actually nothing to be afraid if you have a good teacher. By the way, if you want to learn Russian together with me, I mean online lessons via Zoom platform, I am super glad to be a Russian teacher. Here is my personal business email, you see it somewhere here in the frame. And just write me there, we will discuss program, payment, your level, your wishes, what you want to do, what you want to learn, what you don't want to learn, and why. All this we can discuss, and finally we will learn Russian. So I'm waiting for your mails. Many thanks for your attention, and yes, also of course I would like to thank my constant supporters. They are amazing people who financially support my channel, and I have to admit that without your help I would never launch this project, because actually nobody wants to work for thank you, because I spend a lot of time making these videos and editing them. And yes, this financial support of my supporters is really precious. Only thanks to your support, financial support, I can make these Russian lessons for you. Many thanks for everything that you did to me and to my channel. And now let's continue our Russian lesson. And we will learn something about она, she. So, завтра она расскажет, куда мы пойдем. Завтра она расскажет, куда мы пойдем. Now we move on to plural in Russian language. Мы никому не расскажем твой секрет. Мы никому не расскажем твой секрет. This is negative construction in Russian, and here you must be quite careful, because in Russian we use double or triple or even more negation. Here we have double negation. So we say мы никому, first negation, не расскажем, second negation, твой секрет. And of course, we can add more and more negative words here. Okay, another thing. Let's talk about вы. Вы, as you remember, it can be plural or singular formal. На общем собрании вы расскажете сотрудникам о своем решении. На общем собрании вы расскажете сотрудникам о своем решении. Okay, and now we will move on to the last part in this chart with conjugation in future tense. На вечеринке они расскажут что-то очень важное. На вечеринке они расскажут что-то очень важное. That's it. I hope now you understand more or less how to use this Russian verb in different contexts, and also we need to discuss past tense, of course. We skip present because it doesn't exist. Present exists only in рассказывать, in its imperfective pair. So let's move on to past tense in the Russian language. It's very easy to form this chart. So you can say masculine рассказал, рассказал, feminine рассказала, рассказала, neuter рассказала, рассказала, same as feminine because of Russian reduction law, of course. Unstressed you pronounce like a, and then plural рассказали, рассказали. By the way, you need to be quite careful in spelling this Russian verb. Many Russian children and even adult Russian people can make a mistake in this Russian verb because they want to write only one S. Be careful, we have two S here, and there is no O. Рассказала, feminine, right? Because very often Russian people want to write O somewhere in this verb. And here, in plural, and here we will make only one example because I think it was quite enough of different examples, and it will be a question. Кому вы рассказали о нашей встрече? Кому вы рассказали о нашей встрече? Quite a suspicious question. My dear Russian learners, I do hope that this Russian lesson was interesting and helpful for you in your Russian studies, in your learning Russian routine. If so, you know what you should do. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, write me a comment, and of course, you can financially support my channel. The link is in the first comment below this video. You know, it is really important because you inspire me, and I want to make videos more consistently, like more regularly. Many thanks for everything that you do to me and to my channel, and see you very soon. Увидимся скоро. Пока-пока. Bye-bye.